Good morning, this is Randy Kanzler. I own Essential Maintenance Services in Madisonville, Kentucky. I've been working on some stuff for about a year. Well, I actually developed about a year ago. Built this trailer back in August. I've done an overview on it and have made some really pretty dramatic differences in it, changes in it, and just kind of want to go over it. So it's a 12-foot tandem axle trailer. It's a dovetail. It's got two 3,500-pound axles in it. It is a WHD trailer. It's very well made. Started off with that, and then I bought this. This is a Hotsy SSG. It's rated at 5 gallons a minute. It actually puts out about 7.5 gallons a minute. 224 degree hot water unit. It says 248. It's about 224. So let's go over it a little bit. Starting with the electronics. This is just very basic here. It gives you your battery levels. It gives you your lighting for the trailer, and this is pretty much all this does. I do have this set up to have my generator coming off of my pressure washer. Goes back down, plugs into my NOCO, and this charges my batteries while the pressure washer is running, which is about 90% of the time. I did have a box right back here where you see the Milwaukee hanger. That was a pump box, had its own battery. I removed that because the system that's on here now doesn't require it. So I moved this battery back to here, wired them in parallel. So this is one giant 12 volt now. Got a NOCO underneath there that takes care of all that. This is a portable pump station. Just got bored one day, and I like to tinker. So you have your on-off switch, you have your lighting that's in all this is recessed with inside the handles, so these cannot get damaged. You have your output, you have your input. So the way this works, I put it in this tough box here. Like I said, it's portable, extremely durable. Now, don't bust my chops. I've got Everflow pumps left over from last year that are still working good as long as you keep them dry, and that's what's going to be in here. It's designed for a Remco, but for now, this is what it's going to be. So this is your pumping station. It's portable. It is remote controlled. And it works great, and I'll go through this more later in some other videos. I have a short video of it showing it coming on and functioning, but you get the gist. So and it locks. I just have a tab there and a tab there that locks it in between. Set it in there, and it's not going anywhere. So coming on over here, now we're starting to get into the system. My system is designed around this remote from Midwest Wash Equipment. They make great stuff, and it's very integratable. I modified mine, so this lever has been added. And what this does is it's your bleach output or your water output. It works like a shirts box. Where this is set up right now is in downstream mode. So here's your line going back. It goes back to my injector and gives me remote controlled downstream. When I want to run my 12 volt pump, I switch over to Softwash, and I switch the soap to Softwash. Now I have the same remote running the Softwash system. So that really integrates things in and makes it convenient. mind you, this setup is for one person or a helper that likes to have remotes on everything, and it'll save you a lot of money. Coming over to the chem tank, 65-gallon leg tank. It's got a flush line that goes into the water tank, and then just goes straight into the chem tank. Turn this down, you're pumping chemical. Turn this back up, and then you can flush the entire system out. This goes straight into the bleach valve, or it goes straight into the ejector and vacuum wrenches your injector. One thing I did forget is I added a fuse right here, and I keep it off because this banjo pulls power all the time. So when I'm really using my system in practice, flip this, flip this, flip this, you're ready to go. So I have a couple of tanks here. One's got some gutter brite in it, one's got SH in it. They are labeled, as well as my tanks are labeled. This is a bleach neutralizer bucket. This vents it. All I do is I pull this line here and unplug it, and then unplug this, plug it into the day. After I'm flushing, I punch some bleach neutralizer through everything, and that helps extend the life of everything, and it's a little more convenient. A three-way here would make it much easier to switch, but I haven't got there yet. I use a standard 22-foot little giant ladder. It works great for my purposes and what I need. So here I took a Milwaukee pack out setup. These are made for broom holders. And then there's some other attachments they have here. Obviously, I added some quick connects on here to hold on to my J-rod and to hold on to my Softwash system setup. So everything I need, wands, adapter fittings, tank bungs, even a transfer that I can plug onto a tank and transfer chemicals out of. And no, this is not for water hose. This is for tubing, plastic tubing. It can roll off for gutters. These are my transfer lines. This goes straight into a 55-gallon drum, or can be used directly as a drop stick, and you can filter whatever it is that you're using. I try to integrate things like these quick attaches that hold my short brush. Coming back around, I do keep a extension cord on here. This is my drop stick set up for my Downstream module. And this is where it's mounted. It's got drop stick there, and it comes out. And then I have a double stack of 12-inch hose reels. They're general pump, 300 feet each of 3/8 line. The top reel, the reel A, is set up for my downstreaming. The bottom reel, reel B, is set up for manual. This is basically what I do my surface cleaning with and things like that. This is 200 feet of continuous, and this is 100 feet of continuous with another 50 feet of hose underneath there. They both have their own ball valves on them and their own docking stations. Coming over to the downstream, I just have my downstream ran down, bypasses through, it's got a super sudsucker on it, and then I can switch with this three-way between this hose reel or this hose reel. I'll come back to this here in a minute. Then coming over, these are 18-inch reels. This is obviously my water line. It has 200 feet, 100 feet, two separate sections of 100 feet Ultramax water line. This is excellent water line. Probably the only one I'm never going to have to buy for the next 5 years minimum. My chem line I have shortened up. It's 5/8 inch Flexilla, and I took it down to about 190 feet. It gave me a huge performance difference. Everything in this goes to 5/8, comes down to cam locks, and then this is your docking station. This docking station unplugs. When you unroll this, you plug back into this, and this is actually the feed line that gives you your output chemical. Coming around to the other side. Oh, and by the way, this is set up to where you can run it through the hose reel as well, but my entire system is 3/4 inch plumbing all the way to here, all the way out till it hits the hose at 5/8, and I did that to eliminate this 1/2 inch restriction inside, which is probably more of a restriction as chemical moves through it. Coming around over to here, this is my water inlet system. For now, it is going to be like this. This will eventually be a 3-way that switches between the water in and going over to the direct line to the tank for the pressure washer. Never use this, but it's there as an option. This one here is going to go away. This one's going to stay as an eye wash station. It's currently hooked up here, and I'll explain this here in a minute. When you get over to your pressure washer, this is the front of the SSG. It is a 630 Honda GX or GX 630. As you can see here, and I don't know if I can zoom on this enough you can see it. This is an 8-gallon-a-minute pump. Pulleyed for 5 gallons a minute, as I said earlier. It puts out 7.5. Well, with the injector on, about 6.5. But the engine does not overpower the pump, and you get better performance. Now, I do believe you probably get a little bit better chemical transfer on your downstream, because it's the way it's putting out. It's not putting out as much water, which means it's going to be a stronger mix in theory. It is a hot water unit, as I said earlier. You have your gas, you have your diesel, you have your backup gas, you have your backup diesel. Coming back over to the system, this is a dump valve or a hand wash station that's operated on that 3-way. Right now, it's operating the system and running off the tank. Diesel Midwest Proportioner V4 mixer that's been modified. This is your input if you need to input any of your chemicals, onboard chemicals, your bleach, your soap 1 or your soap 2. This is how you do it. And these are your standard valve setups. This valve setup here is an exfil port. This is unmetered, 1/2 inch, and this is how you empty these tanks. And then it runs into a 7-gallon-a-minute Fat Boy. It's the new IO series. These things work great. So this output pump is going to come over to a 3-way that will switch between this and a distribution module for transferring chemical that I haven't put on yet. Coming over here, this is your soap. This is multiple functions, okay? This is where you fill your tanks. This is where you pull your soap from for your Softwash and your downstream system. And this is where you exfil your tanks. And it does all of this right here. So this draws out of soap 1. This draws out right here, goes through that line and goes to your soap valve up here, metered. Same thing over here. You need your soap 2. It's going to come down, come straight out. Same thing. When you need to fill the water, the way this is set up right now is I'm filling the water on the inlet water, and it just goes straight in. This lines will come back over and go to that other module that fills the tanks. So then your water supply will come directly off of the tank. That will no longer be set that way. It'll be the same thing over here on the other valve, and then of course the third one will go directly to the bleach line. Here in the middle, what you have is you have a selector on manual. So this is pulling from this tank. Obviously this line's pulling from this tank, and it goes back to your rear. What reason this is set up this way, and this gives you the ability to switch between whether or not that it's exfilling or whether or not it's filling. The reason this is set up this way is that if this system is being used, because like I said earlier, this is for one person or a helper, which is the majority of us. If this remote's being used for the Softwash system, you come back here to the back to the Downstream module. I have an SH remote, soap, SH manual on, and auxiliary. The auxiliaries for the drop stick that we covered earlier, which completely eliminates this block. So if you're pumping acid through here, it can never possibly mix in here and cause mustard gas. When you are running the remote up front, you simply turn that remote off and turn your manual on. Now you have manual SH. Right now this is on remote on the soap. You turn this, now you have manual soap. So you have not lost your capability of your downstreaming while this system's being used, and simply use your J-rod to turn it on and turn it off just as it had a remote on it. This system works extremely well and is extremely efficient. In practice, setting this up and using it is so intuitive. It's on-off switches, and you're talking a couple of seconds of actual operation. Explanation takes much longer, but in actual practice, this is just unbelievable. I hope this helps, guys. These systems are coming. They're going to be coming through Midwest Wash Equipment. There are other parts of this system. This is a basic V4 system. There's going to be multiple options, and you can expand this a module at a time as you need to go. You only have to have one remote, one proportioner. Your downstreaming is taken care of. Everything is remoted back and forth, downstream or Softwash, with drop sticks and exfil and fill, and even the ability to batch mix those tanks. Something else I want to cover here too is that when you are having this system set up here and you're filling your tanks, you can fill your tanks with your soap or your degreaser of how much you need, and then come over and turn your water valve on and finish filling these tanks with water. And you never have to open any lid on this system ever, other than to service your tanks. Guys, I hope this has been real helpful. I've been working on this for about a year, and I've had this working on my system since November of last year, and it works great. Hope it helps, guys. Peace.